US President Joe Biden announces a new set of measures to provide financial relief to millions of students. The announcement came just hours after a Supreme Court ruling that cancelled the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness program altogether. The program, struck down by the top court, waived off $430 billion in student loan debt. Biden said that millions of American students are angry with the decision. He also lashed out at what he called the Republican hypocrisy, which triggered the court's decision.
The hypocrisy is stunning. You can't help a family making 75 grand a year, but you can help a millionaire and you have your debt forgiven. My plan would not only have been life-changing for millions of Americans, it would have been good for the American economy, freeing millions of Americans from the crushing burden of student debt.
Biden announced measures to provide debt relief quickly to as many borrowers as possible. One measure is a 12-month pause on penalties for missing debt repayments on federal loans taken by the students. According to Biden, this will protect the most vulnerable borrowers. He also said that he will work under the authority of the Higher Education Act to begin a new program designed to ease borrowers' threat of default if they fall behind over the next year. In addition, most of their income will be protected from repayment as well.
We're creating a temporary 12-month, what we're calling on-ramp repayment program. And now, this is not the same as a student loan pause. It's been in effect for the past 3 years. Monthly payments will be due. Bills will not go out and interest will be accruing. And during this period, if you can pay your monthly bills, you should. But if you cannot, if you miss payments, this on-ramp will temporarily remove the threat of default.
While the Supreme Court's ruling has been denounced by several students, it has been praised by Biden's opponents, including former President and Biden's main challenger, Donald Trump. During a rally in Philadelphia, Trump promised to eliminate all diversity, equity and inclusion programs across the entire federal government.
What they did yesterday. If you've worked hard, gotten fantastic marks, done well in all of the other various things that you have to do well on, somebody that hasn't done nearly as well, who perhaps has not worked as hard, will not be taking your place on a school, college, or university roster any longer. Today, the Supreme Court, this is today. Today, the Supreme Court also ruled that President Biden is not allowed to wipe out hundreds of billions and perhaps trillions of dollars in student loan debt, which would have been very unfair to the millions and millions of people who paid their debt through hard work and diligence. Very unfair.
Supreme Court, with a 6-3 decision, blocked Biden's program, saying that the Biden administration overstepped its authority with the plan. The ruling favors the 6 conservative-leaning states that objected to the policy. It is not only disappointing for 26 million students who have applied for relief, but is also a political setback for the Biden administration, which had made wiping out student loan a key tenet of its next presidential election. For more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani sends us this report from New York. Take a look.
Experts have warned of a messy return to debt repayment for borrowers who collectively owe more than $1 trillion as the pandemic-era break comes to an end. Borrowers between the ages of 35 and 49 owe the most, and while President Biden insists that his fight is not over, critics argue that he made a campaign promise he knew he didn't ultimately have final say on. Also, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy praised the Supreme Court decision, saying that the 87% of Americans without a student loan are no longer forced to pay for the 13% who do. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World This One.